Hello, I'm Jim Rohn, and if you're watching this video, perhaps you've asked yourself, why do people grow distant from me? Why can't they face me honestly? Are you feeling confused, even hurt because relationships keep falling apart without a clear explanation? Don't worry, you're not alone. Today, I'll take you on a surprising journey into psychology, the real reason why avoidant individuals can't stand being around you. But this isn't a blame game, it's a key to understanding yourself and those around you on a deeper level. Have you ever wondered what lies behind their silence, the unanswered messages, or the way they quietly retreat from your life? It's not as simple as you think. I'm going to reveal a psychological secret that will make you exclaim, "Oh, so that's what it is." And more importantly, you'll learn how to handle these situations without letting them bring you down. This isn't just an explanatory video, it's a wake-up call to reclaim your confidence in relationship. But to discover it all, you need to stay with me until the end of the video. I promise, what you're about to see will change the way you look at everything. And if you don't want to miss out on profound psychological insights like this, hit the subscribe button now. I'm Jim Rohn, and I'm here to help you decode the hidden corners of the mind, not just others, but your own. Let's begin. Your ex didn't choose avoidance because you lacked something, but because the light you radiate is too bright, too complete, a completeness that is never a burden or a flaw. You entered the relationship with a heart as open as a cloudless sky, carrying pure love, deep tenderness, and rare understanding. You weren't afraid to expose the vulnerable corners of your soul, to show your compassion or your burning sincerity. These very qualities made you a precious gem, a living embodiment of what anyone would long to experience in life. But to them, that warmth was like an overwhelming fire, causing them to retreat in confusion. They realized you were a priceless treasure, and that's exactly why they walked away. Not because you weren't enough, but because they didn't know how to embrace your brilliance without feeling small. Looking deeper into who they are, you'll see a sad story written from invisible wounds. They grew up in a world where love wasn't a given, where emotional emptiness became familiar. Perhaps since childhood they faced neglect, moments of emotional abandonment with no explanation. Their family, instead of being a safe harbor, was a place where emotions were suppressed, seen as luxuries or even as shameful if expressed. Over the years, they learned to believe that feelings were dangerous, unreliable, and easily shattered like fragile glass. They locked themselves behind layers of insecurity, convinced they were unworthy of happiness, that they were a collection of broken pieces beyond repair. To protect a heart too familiar with pain, they built strong walls, keeping everyone, even you, from reaching that silent ache. Deep in their subconscious, they feared that if they opened up, you would see their true self, the one they believe is flawed, and just like so many before, you would leave, leaving them with their familiar loneliness. When you came with all your sincerity and fierce love, they suddenly fell into panic. Your presence, with an open heart ready to share, became a test they didn't dare take. To them, closeness is unfamiliar and risky, while distance is a safe and known refuge. You weren't too much to be pushed away, they were too scared to reach out. Your warmth was like the blazing sun at noon, but they chose to curl up in the dark corners of their soul, where their quiet fears rule. Don't weave blame into your thoughts. You offered a beautiful love, a priceless gift, and if they couldn't treasure it, that's the loss they chose, not a wound you must carry. It all began like a gentle dream, like a spring breeze softly passing through the leaves. But then, the waves of unrest within them gradually rose, smoldering before erupting fiercely. They looked at you, a person who lives true to their emotions, unafraid to show moments of vulnerability, always in deep harmony with the inner world. That confused them, like standing before a mirror reflecting things they had never dared to face. You naturally expressed your sadness, your joy, even the scars in your heart, like a river flowing endlessly. But to them, that river was a flood threatening to wash away the shell they had painstakingly built. For years, they were used to hiding all feelings, burying emotions to avoid confronting their own fragility. You brought a world full of color and life, but they only knew how to live in cold gray tones, where everything was controlled. even in suffocating loneliness. To them, you were like a living book, each page full of emotion and color, while they were only familiar with faint words on a blank white page. They didn't know how to immerse themselves in deep connections, couldn't reach for true love, the kind that requires an open heart and hands ready to share. They quietly skimmed the surface of life, like a passerby, because that was the boundary they drew to protect themselves. Yet, deep within, a small fire still burned, yearning for something greater, a powerful bond, a meaning beyond mere existence. And then, when that very thing appeared before them in your form, they panicked, recoiled, and ran away from the very dream that had once lit their darkest nights. That's why when they enter long-term relationships or even marriage, they often seek reflections of themselves, cold, distant, or sometimes arrogantly self-absorbed. Someone who avoids emotion, someone lost in ego, or a soul that keeps its doors forever closed. In such relationships, they find false safety because nothing threatens to pull them out of their familiar shell. There's no intimacy that stirs the heart, no meaning great enough to make them reflect. They're trapped in a repeating circle where love is just a luxury word, drifting vaguely in the voids they've created themselves. Yet even in the depths of that loneliness, perhaps they still quietly remember the warm flame you once brought, the one they longed for but lacked the courage to keep. Forever living with unspoken regret. That person never showed a hint of vulnerability in front of them, and that was like a solid fortress, providing an absolute sense of safety. They stood behind that wall, thinking they had found the perfect refuge. But then, that safety gradually revealed its fragile nature, just an empty shell covering a cold void, a barren relationship devoid of life, unable to nourish the soul. In the end, they walked away carrying a burning desire for someone like you, someone willing to open their heart, let emotions flow like a cool stream, and weave a deep, genuine connection. Yet, when standing before you, their old scars began to bleed. Your sincerity, no matter how warm, accidentally touched the hidden corners they always tried to bury, awakening pains they thought had long been asleep. And so they fell again into a familiar spiral, spinning between longing and fear, unable to find a way out. That cycle only truly ends when they dare to face themselves, when they bravely stand before the mirror, looking straight into the cracks of their soul, the silent shame, the deeply rooted insecurities from the past, and choose to heal them. It is a journey that demands transformation from the roots, forcing them to leave the safe land that has become an invisible prison. Perhaps they need a guiding hand, like through therapy sessions where they learn to peel away each layer of armor, each inner knot. But if they stubbornly cling to that rigidity, if they refuse to let go to embrace the light, then no matter how much love you give, it will be like a fleeting breeze, unable to slip through the cracks of their heart, unable to mend the pieces that have turned to stone over time. And in that hopeless persistence, you only become more wounded, while they remain lost within themselves. Instead of pausing to look inward, they choose the less painful path, blame. They build a solid fortress out of excuses, refusing the inward gaze in search of answers, and instead cast their eyes outward, looking for anything to hold on to. Deep inside them is a fear that they are not worthy of you, a quiet but sharp fear. To mask it, they lash out in criticism, shifting all responsibility onto you as a way to escape the growling pain within. They say you're wrong, that you're not enough. But that's merely a disguise for the truth. They cannot face themselves. You are not the reason they turned away, but a mirror that unintentionally reflected the shadows they tried to bury, causing them to panic and push you away. In the depths of their heart, they carry a smoldering insecurity, a sense that they will forever be an outsider to your brilliance. To escape that burden, they cling to accusations, digging for any reason not to face the still bleeding scars of their soul. But please, don't be mistaken. That does not define your worth. If you loved with all your heart, remained patient, gentle, and were a dream companion, yet they still rejected you, still claimed you were too much or too demanding, then don't weave self-doubt into your story. It's not that you lacked anything, but that they felt small, unable to stand beside you. Their old wounds, the unsoothed cuts of the past, still quietly controlled them, making them shrink away from the love you offered. You were not the one who triggered them, and you are not responsible for their healing. They ran not because you weren't good enough, but because they weren't brave enough to stand tall before themselves. Before you, a free wind they dared not embrace. Don't let your heart be weighed down by questions of what has passed. If you have given your sincerity, fulfilled your role completely, then hold your head high and walk forward with quiet pride. You are not only a wonderful partner, but also a soul worthy of deep love, deserving of a response equal to the fire you carry in your heart. That person did not leave because you lacked something, but because they weren't strong enough to receive the radiant gift you offered. You deserve to be with someone who will open their arms to embrace you, not push you away. Someone who will build beautiful days with you instead of planting seeds of self-doubt. The burden of insecurity they carry is theirs alone, not something you need to stoop down and pick up. Engrave it deeply in your heart that this breakup did not originate from you. You loved with all your heart, gave the best of yourself, and that is a treasure no one can deny. Don't let their retreat dim the light that naturally shines within you. You deserve a complete love. Someone who sees you as a refreshing breeze on a sweltering summer day, as a warm ray of sunshine in a cold winter, someone who sees you as joy, not a burden. So keep moving forward with the fierce belief that you are not only enough, but far beyond the ordinary limits they set. Your light has never gone out. It is simply waiting for another soul brave enough to harmonize with it, sensitive enough to recognize that you are a miracle. One day, that person will come, not to search for flaws, but to cherish every facet of you, to write a story where love is no longer a fear, but the gentlest refuge. In the end, this story is not about who is right or wrong, but about the journey of facing oneself. Avoidant individuals deep down often struggle with feelings of unworthiness, but instead of healing, they push away those who love them. You, the one who gave sincere love, unwavering presence, and kindness, are not the reason for their departure. Your worth is not diminished simply because they weren't ready to receive it. Their wounds are the baggage they carry, not a burden you need to fix. What matters is that you recognize you deserve a complete love, someone who will return your warmth with the same fire you gave, instead of making you question yourself. Move forward with the belief that you are enough. And beyond that, you are a gift to someone who truly knows how to cherish it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, for joining me in exploring the hidden corners of emotions and complex relationships. Every minute you are here is a great source of motivation for me to continue sharing meaningful stories. If this content touched your heart, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the next videos. I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below, share your feelings, experiences, or anything you want to say. Your story could be an inspiration to others, or simply a way for us to connect more deeply. Don't hesitate. I read and value every word you send. Let's create a community where every emotion is heard and understood. Once again, thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Always believe in your own worth, because you deserve the very best.